Hey everyone, we'll get started here just about 5 minutes. Those who are on YouTube right now, there's a slight delay, so hang with us. I'll be checking the chat room, the comment section as well for those who are in the YouTube channel. So we'll get started here in about 5 minutes. All right, everybody that's in the YouTube channel that's listening to it live right now, you guys seem to be lagging about 10 seconds. So I'll be checking your comment box there from time to time, as well as those who show up in the Zoom room as well. So we're going to have a kind of a mixture tonight of our normal Zoom people. I got a few that normally will be here that aren't going to be here tonight, but those who are in the YouTube channel, just know that you're just lagging just a little bit behind. We'll start probably the next 4 or 5 minutes. We'll start just a tad early. So thanks for being here. Yeah, I can't get the music started for some reason. I'm glad you noticed that. It's something with Zoom right now. I haven't started the recording, so I guess I can play anything I wanted to, but yeah, there's no music tonight for some reason. That's cool. But yeah. Now what time is it where you're at right now? Wow, okay. Yeah. Well, good morning then to you. Yeah. And again, welcome. We'll get started here in about 3 or 4 minutes. Yeah, I'll let you guys know when the recording starts, and then also we'll probably go 30 minutes tonight, maybe 35, somewhere in that round. Not long. When you pretty much have a system in place and you're doing swing trading for long term, you really don't need to spend hours on a screen. It really doesn't help you much. So yeah, we'll be going over Tide Fusion tonight too. Yeah. Yep. We just we got what about 3 minutes? We just had dinner with the family, first cookout of the year. We're in February, which is crazy. So we pulled the grill out and got ready to go. So what's the temperature there where you're at? That's right. Yeah, y'all are getting the summertime. We're getting there. We had the ice a couple weeks ago, and now we're in the 80s again. So it's kind of crazy here in North Texas. All right, let me get prepared. Give me about 2 minutes and we'll get started. Again, my YouTubers, make sure you guys realize y'all are about 10 seconds behind. So if y'all won't really know it, except I won't be answering your question quite as fast as you probably think I should. So, all right, we'll see you guys in a second. We'll start in about 2 minutes. Good evening, everybody. It's February the 9th, almost 7 o'clock. We'll get started here in about a minute. We are recording. Again, welcome those who are on their phone that I can see. Welcome those in the YouTube channel, as well as Dana in our Zoom room tonight. We'll have a few more pop in, pop out. Again, come as you can, come and go as you please. We're going to spend about 30 minutes on it tonight, and then get a little Q&A if y'all have any, and then call it a night. Give me about 30 seconds, get the screens all set up, and we'll get started. Well, good evening, everyone. This is Brian with Trade Masters. It is now 7 Central on February the 9th. Again, those who are in the YouTube channel, you're lagging about 10 seconds. Welcome to tonight's swing trading with currencies. We are going to dive into some currency trading using Tide Fusion, our new thing. I do want to mention that we are very excited about our look and vision for 2026, where we're really digging into building trade plans because anything can work in trading if you have a plan. And if your plan's not working and making you money, then you've got to tweak the plan, not the strategy. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. We still have a lot of individuals who like to kind of dabble and chase. And we're hopefully going to stop some of the chasing and dabbling and get you guys a little bit more consistent. Let me go ahead. We always have a routine, as you guys know that have been in the room as many months as y'all have been. The very first thing we like to do is go into our, let me go ahead and change this up, go into our calendar for the upcoming week. Again, it's not anything that's going to define what we're necessarily going to do, but these are the key news items that you want to be aware of, especially the lower the time frame that you trade on. In our time savvy trader session, we'll begin trading from the 4 hour chart. We do look at the daily and weekly. We rarely go down to the 1 hour, but the lower you go, the more these folders seem to impact our trading. So a red folder is kind of important. Orange can disrupt, and the yellow is just normal news, unless it has to do with federal people speaking about their economy. So let's look at what's happened in on Sunday. Not a whole lot. We did have the lower house elections there in Japan. Not a big deal, really. Nothing really changed with their currency. I was reading their central bank documents just before we started. Nothing crazy that I could see that was going to change anything. Um, Pound didn't do much, and you can see their earnings for the Japanese yen bank lending year to year stayed the same. It's going to stay the same. We do have some other things going on where it just sentiment's not going real well. The global economy kind of sucks right now, to be honest. Everybody's bankrupt. Not doom and gloom. We just have to know how to plan for it. So today was kind of one of those weird days. Tide Fusion tapped me out, a couple of losses that were really strong. That tells me all the talk that we had today really kind of changed the perspective of the market. We had a lot of people talking. Started really early on and gathered in, and it's going to continue. So we do want to be aware of what's happening. Anytime we have somebody talking, especially when it comes to the US dollar, we want to be paying attention. That doesn't mean we run scared because we're really not scared. We can't predict the future anyway, but we can kind of plan around what we know. And then we move into tomorrow. We do have some more numbers coming in. One looks worse than the other. Both of them actually look a little worse, but they're kind of stagnant almost. And so just be aware of those numbers in the US dollar. The economy overall is doing, uh, I guess you would say it's okay. I mean, it's doing okay. We've got a lot of infrastructure going on, but we won't see the benefits of this probably for another year. Some of the things that Trump's doing, it's going to hurt for a while. But looking at what we got tomorrow again, FOMC members speaking. That could cause some disruption. And then we have an all-day yen holiday. So you want to be aware of that as well if you're any short-term trades with Al in his Hawkeye session or uh, doing day trading and swing, not day trading and scalping with Al in the mornings. He's going to be paying attention to a lot of this stuff. So just make sure that you're paying attention to that as well. Again, my YouTubers, you're about 10 seconds behind. I just saw your note. We'll cover the pairs that we cover tonight, but if we don't cover the one you want to see, let me know and I'll make sure I cover it. So let's move on to Wednesday. Wednesday again, we're in the middle of the month. It's really kind of weird. Middle of the month is usually pretty stable. It's the end of the month that we cause problems. But we definitely have some interesting news with the Canadian dollar coming in a lot stronger than they were anticipating previously. So with the building permits month to month, that's interesting. And then we look at the U.S. and see what they're projecting. Not, you can see it's pretty flat. Unemployment's flat. Non-farm employment change is relatively flat. And then we have more FOMC people speaking again. So this is going to always cause issues. And then not to add to that, we have oil being talked about. Right now, we're enjoying those prices of low oil, but who knows what they're going to do with that. And we haven't heard a lot about Venezuela recently. So that's going to be interesting how that all ties. Everybody's been distracted with other things. It's like somebody's juggling all different plates, and you just got to kind of keep your eye on the ball, because it seems like there's a lot of noise distracting from what's really happening. I don't know if that's intentional by our administration or if it just happens to be our world that's living 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or a mixture of both. Going into the evening to Wednesday night, we do have the PPI year to year. They're having a decrease there, not going to hit us that hard in the evening. And we have found some success with Tide Fusion in having some good setups in the evening time. Again, we're not really worried about session times. We're talking about swing as much as we would be in day trading. Thursday morning, real early, if you're an early morning getter upper, I've been getting up around 2 o'clock and watching things around 2, testing things live before I head off to school. And so it's been some long days with some good information coming through. I'm waiting for that pound to get a little bit stronger. I'm not so sure it's going to though. They got a lot of news coming out tomorrow or Thursday on the 12th from 1 o'clock in the morning. They've got a lot coming, so that could be a nice push in our favor in that regard. We also have unemployment claims. Again, it looks like there's less claims for the U.S. on Thursday morning. That's a red folder. All this other stuff is important, especially when it comes to the FOMC member Logan speaking, as well as Moran. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And then we have Friday. Friday comes in, and we've got our busiest of our day. Again, I'm finding I don't love to hold trades on Friday, but I'm doing it because I know in the long haul it seems to work out. I just don't like doing it. Not yet. So let's go ahead, and we got over here, we got our testing for Tide Fusion I'm doing. I just want to jump right in. I've taken a lot of notes, and you can see we've expanded some of our ideas into Tide Fusion. We are finding that statistically over 5 years, some quality things have to happen. You have to have a basket. You can profit, and we'll give you some more insight and Tide Fusion update in the near future. We'll do that, but we're going to be very, very conservative with what we're doing right now. We're risking only 1%, which is very conservative. We're not doing anything crazy out of the realm, which was giving us a kind of a very slow growth pattern. There's a way for you to increase it. We'll talk about that later. This is actually a newer version of Tide Fusion that you guys haven't even seen yet. I'm still in the testing, not anything logic that we're changing, not at all. It is strictly going to be things that can help you be a better trader, things that can help you trade manage a little bit better. So we're going to dive right on in. I'm going to just take the look at these pairs first and then hit one or two other ones just so we don't disrupt. If you haven't been paying attention, I don't know, most of us have not signed up for the Tide Fusion Wave Alert subscription. That is now available. We had a nice little entry today on the US Swiss that came in around 4 o'clock, as well as our pound US. We'll see how that goes. But nice little alerts that come along every so often. You can see they don't happen every day, which is wonderful. That means we're going for quality over quantity. Does lay out your entry or estimated entry, your estimated stop, the risk based on what you put into your system. Just a nice thing. Now, when we're doing our testing, just to be very, very clear, when we're doing our testing and we're finding these numbers out, I'm going at the least amount available in the US. So 50 to 1 leverage is the minimum that we are, or maximum we're allowed to use in the United States. So with that being said, I'm testing everything with 50 to 1. Understand my live account, I'm bumping it up. I'm also not risking just 1%. But I'm not going to encourage you guys to do that quite yet. Get the feel for the system first, and then you can make your own decision there. Take a lot of notes on your screen. You can see some fantastic stuff. I have not updated the numbers for our test yet. We found some new numbers. Our defaults are really solid. Just minor tweaks that we're doing. Let me go ahead and put our HUD up, and you'll see a couple new feet. Not on this one, but I didn't update these. But on the test one, I may show you that to you here in a bit. So we use our HUD, and it kind of gives us a bigger picture look at it all in one place. And so what do we have? The last thing we had was this sell. Now, the question came up to me the other day on the pound yen is when these cross, why didn't we get a buy opportunity in this nice move? Um, you could have taken the trade. There's nothing saying you can't take a trade if you're watching for that trade. But as we mentioned in our previous session, we're not looking for a bunch of trades. We're actually looking for specific things that structure that we're talking about are structure. This didn't qualify. And why it didn't qualify was mainly these wicks. So this is a huge zone. And so we have, when it came back to test this area, when we came back and tested this area, you notice our moving average ribbon is red and pointing down. Our green is flattening out. So it's not going to give us a signal yet until we have some clarity on it. Pound yen, I will just tell you the pound yen is one of our highest movers. It's one of our fastest movers. So we want to be very, very careful with that as well. But we look at the ATR showing 74.1 right now. The trend is right there where we need it to be, 1.18. RSI says it's bullish, and it's 51.5. When we learned about the number for RSI, anything up 50 and higher is bullish. Anything 50 lower is going to be anything 50 and lower is going to be a bearish look. And so right now we're kind of sitting, I wouldn't say no man's land, but pretty close. Our volume right now, obviously being at 7 o'clock in the evening Central Time, our volume right now is going to be a totally different thing. It's going to end up being below average at this time normally anyway, because our markets really don't get going for quite a bit. So looking at our trend, our bias is up on the 4-hour chart, but look at our 1 hour, mixed, 4 hour, mixed, but it's a bias overall up. So this is exactly what we're looking for. We're looking for a sideways look with a bias up. So we need a breakout up, but there's nothing here. We've got a high here and a high here. We really don't want to be getting in yet. We need to be breaking those off. So our HUD gives us everything we need to know about it. And then when we get done looking at it, just put it away. And so it looks like we had on our fast signal. I don't even know. I guess this one is on. Our last one was a sell. It says 57. I'm guessing 57 bars. That doesn't make sense. I'll have to check that number, but it says 57B. I can't imagine that's 50. It could be, I guess. But there's our first sell. We did take it. And I got out early because things started changing. So again, follow the trade plan, whatever trade plan you have, and then go from there. Again, if you're looking for a trade, let me take that off. If you're looking for a trade plan just to start with, just let me know. I don't mind sharing our basic one. I do not like having the HUD up when I'm sitting and watching though. So pull the HUD off. I'm guessing you're talking about the major floor, major ceiling. That's what I'm guessing you're asking about. Yeah. Okay. So what I'd encourage you to do is go to our YouTube channel at Trademasters. It'd be YouTube/Trademasters. There's two great videos on Tide Fusion and why these seem to be wrong. They're really not. Again, we're measuring structure. We're not looking for a certain price, but great question. Yeah, you would think the ceiling would be above the floor. It's just there has not been a ceiling created in the week yet. This is really not a ceiling yet. So it's looking at all the historical stuff in the behind. So you have to trust this. So, and it's hard to do as traders. We don't like to trust anything, especially not our eyes. Very mechanical. So I'm expecting the pound US to bring us a buy signal soon. Um, I got out of this position when the picture changed again. Again, one of my smaller losses. It wasn't a full loss, but a small loss. Why? Because price closed above both moving average. Both moving average turned colors, and I just didn't see it going down. I didn't see it going down anymore. It looks like here's our down and up. But if you look long term, squish and squash, that's that term Al and I love to say. Really, I bought in I sold out in a uptrend overall. This is a strong move up. It's parabolic. Pullback, I'm betting we're moving up. And so because I knew that in the past, I took it out and ready for the reverse of it, to be honest. And we'll see what happens. Got some great structure right here. Our pivot high has been broken. Our pivot low has been established. We don't have a pivot high. The worst we've got is up here where the ceiling's up here. Now we've got to pay attention to this one because this is a weekly and a monthly. So regardless, we need to make sure whatever risk we take, if it happens to give a buy signal now, we're going to be down here for our, that's 136 kind of risk at this point. So we want to make sure that when we come in, that we can at least get a 1-to-1 if that's your rules. It's going to be real close. It needs to pull back a little bit. So right now we sit on our hands. We do nothing. Again, the question came to Telegram the other day, why did we not get any opportunities in here to get in? Well, my settings are a little bit different. Number one, we would still be in the trade here if we bought here. We just had to wear through all this stuff. And you have to be patient with it. But if you look at the structure is not good. That doesn't mean it doesn't move up. But if I came in here and did this to you, and you saw the end of the chart, and we can't predict. Hindsight's always 2020. I hate predicting on 20. Well, why didn't we get in? Because the chart looks like it wants to turn over to the downside. There's no structure there. And when you go candle by candle, okay, we have a nice green candle there, but it's not giving me anything major. This one's still kind of eh. This one's pulling back. That one's the one that I would have thought, okay, this area right here is where I'd want to get in. But the move is starting to move away already. Okay. It just didn't give us the structure we needed. Now, remember, Tide Fusion is looking for quality trend trading, whether that be downtrend, uptrend. Our Sentinel is looking for momentum trading. It's different. It's a breakout system. Sentinel is a breakout system where this one is a true trend. So in the morning sessions, you will see Al overlapping our Tide Fusion over Sentinel and combining them where he can see both the trend on the big screen type stuff and what the momentum is currently doing on Sentinel being a breakout system. Again, if you're expecting a system to do all things all the time, you're going to be looking for a holy grail that does not exist. This is a trend system. It's not going to catch the breakout. We're hoping to catch, we talk about it in the video, this is the transition time. And when the structure develops, then it gives us the buy signal like it did here. Okay. We're not looking for more signals. We're looking for quality. And what I was mentioning earlier is I am going to be changing how our community functions with Tide Fusion because initially we said, hey, grab one pair and hang on to it. And what I'm finding in the test is that's not that it's bad, but we're looking for quality signals and they don't always come around. So you could be sitting for a while. So why not have a basket of 4 or 5 or 6 that don't correlate on ups and downs? And then you have multiple trades. You just have to have a maximum trade, open trades in your trading plan. So I have a maximum of 4. I can be in 4 trades at one time. If you look at my chart here, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't add to it now. Even if there's a signal, I can't add to it per my plan. And the reason being, if you start doing 5, there's going to be correlations. It's just natural. So one's going to go up, one's going to go down. You're going to wipe out your profits. And that's the pound US. Let's look and see. I haven't looked at this one. This was new. We just got in this one today. We marked it up. This is that one we rode so great. It was a fantastic trade down. Now it came back. It did its normal pullback. And now it seems to be wanting to fall away again. Great structure here. We got it at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on the close of the day. I would definitely anticipate this moving all the way up, even possibly here. But remember, if we're using this as a way to not be staring at the charts for hours on the day, we take it when we get the signal, we take it on the next candle as early as we're able to, not rushing. Don't stop, pull over your car. But this one concerns me just a little bit. Why? This ribbon is pointing down, but our coral hasn't quite pointed down yet. It's kind of flat. So we're kind of in the weird spot right now. But I got in and my rule says 20 pips over the previous pivot high. So my stop is up here. And then I squash and you can see my target is there. We will definitely have some problem here that we have with a major floor weekly and monthly. Welcome to my student, Jensen. Good to see you guys. You can wave if you want to wave to everybody in the room. They'll see you. Yeah. My YouTubers can't see you, but the rest of us can. Welcome. So we've got this move down, and this could last for a while. Again, the US Swiss, it just seems to want to come down. And we've squish and squash. We can see we were in transition, finally broke away. I think we're going to have confirmation on this move. I think this will be one of the few that we, in the recent, that probably should close out before February, we'd hope. That would be a great trade if we could get that to close out before. Looking at the Aussie US. Again, this is another fantastic pair. Great signal here. We trailed up, showed our trailing. Now, these are just screen markings for me now, but what a wonderful trade over a short period of time. Then we had the typical pullback, fighting. Now we've got this nice W pattern. My bet is we're going to break out. Now, again, why did we not get a signal here? Well, that's a great question. If you notice right where we have the ribbons pointing up, we had this right up into the ceiling. My settings for the Aussie US said don't give me a signal if I'm within a certain pip value of the ceiling. So it's protecting me with higher time frame from jumping in and not recognizing this is a weekly and a monthly. Now, my anticipation is if I can have a strong close above this weekly ceiling and monthly ceiling, then I'll come back and do an entry at the point that it broke. Okay? So that's a great example of nice ride up, got this little consolidation pullback. Now we're waiting for it to break out a price. We're doing good on time. Going into the US yen, this one's been fun. This one's been a fun one. Now you'll notice on this one, we had this crossing here and we had a fast buy. I missed it. So, no, I actually got it. I was wondering where it was. So I got in, I'm still in it. Okay, so that's why I didn't see where it was at. So we started moving up. The last few days we had news, and now we're going to have to watch this one again. I'm going to shrink this up so I can see what I'm doing here. Let's move this way and shrink it up. There we go. Here's why we got to watch this, because now we've got price below both the moving averages, the coral and the hole. The ribbon, which is your hole, has turned red. Um, I think we're in a transition time. I still think this is going to move its way up. Why do I think that? The overall movement is up. So we pull in just to make sure we come into our settings, scroll down to your HUD, see what the HUD says on the bigger time frame. And it tells us everything we need to know. So it says the bias is still up, but on the 1 hour it's bearish, 4 hours mixed. Well, we can tell that already. The daily's mixed as well. So now we're in this little, okay, what do? We have to have a trade plan in place. The bias is still up. So if we're willing to take the risk, you hang on to it, don't do anything. If you see that the picture's changing per your trade plan, then you may want to cut your losses a little early if you wanted to. To me, there is no real place to move this stop to protect. So I'm going to leave it alone most likely, unless something is developed within there between now and the time I get out. Okay, that's an easy one. Nice trade for the US yen. I got to turn that off. That's going to drive me nuts. As I've mentioned, I've got a student in the room that's one of my better math students. I wished I had a mute button for him sometimes in class, right, Jensen? Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, we'll talk about that tomorrow. Here's our US CAD, brand new to our basket. Don't have a lot of history on the US CAD. Remember, our CAD is tied closely to oil, and we have some oil numbers coming out. As I've taught my fourth graders in school, they would recognize this pretty quickly as a downtrend. So we have no signal, but notice we got a major floor here. I'm not so convinced I want to jump into this, even if it gives me a signal right here, because I looked back in history and this is pretty strong. Okay, so this is a pretty strong holder. It's the 3,500 number here. So 3,500 is going to hold at least one more time, I would expect. We don't have anything on this trade. You don't see many signals. This would have been a fantastic one to be involved in. You would have been able to possibly ride this, depending on your plan, all the way down. This one would have been a fantastic ride up. Yeah, a little hiccup here. Great ride up. Not so good here. And again, we're looking for 45 to 50% win ratio. We're not looking for 70 to 80. There's a lot of systems that can be 70 to 80 and higher, and they still lose money. We're looking for a lower win probability with a higher chance of being profitable. That's what we're looking for. Let's go to the US CAD. We did the Euro US. This has been weird. Normally, this is one of our stronger pairs. Not so much recently. I did move my stop down. As you can tell, my original stop was here. Why? Because I had a change in color and close strong 2 candles, 3 candles above the moving average. So I brought it down to a reasonable where I thought was a reasonable movement. And it could very well come down. I do want to look at our HUD on this one to see what the overall picture is. It may tell me to get out now. So trend, we're sitting at 64 RSI. That tells me it's going to be pushing up higher. 1 hour is a bull, 4 hours a mix, and the daily is a bull. Yeah, I am in the wrong side of this trade. I did a wise thing by moving this above this last pivot. This will be a loss, and it's okay. Remember, we're risking 1% of the account. So instead of me losing a full 20, I'll lose $13. So it's a 1.5%. What does that? That would be about 6%, 0.6%. So that's a good way of using your HUD to your advantage. Okay. We are finding in some testing that using the fast on some of these, like this fast sell, some pairs don't do real well with that. But overall, we'll give you guys a chart on this. This is trading made easy. Other than you have to have a trade plan. You have to know, I did it again. You have to know to have a trade plan. You can't just let the system do everything by itself without some sort of plan of getting in, getting out. Very, very simple. Now, this has been a pretty nice little trade that we're working on here. What's this one? Aussie yen. Okay. Very cool. I haven't even paid attention to this one yet. Okay, so we got our buy signal here. This is where we got in. It looks like we had a winning trade here as well. We had a buy here, a sell here. So that was a winning trade. We've got this buy here. We got in and we're still in it. So I can come in here and kind of scroll this over to our current candle. A little longer than I want to be in it really, but hey, we marked this area right here as our 1-to-1. Now, if you notice, my original stop was down here, but when we touch this 1-to-1, I'm allowed per my trade plans to move my stop up 20 pips to the recent pivot low where we're at. It was actually a little lower, but that's where I moved it to. And so no matter what happens now, the maximum I can lose is $6. That's a great thing. If I look at my HUD, it's going to give me strong numbers to the upside. Unless something crazy happens, which it can in our world, it happens overnight a lot of times, we should be on a pretty good path over the next few days to get out of this trade. 1 hour is a bull market, 4 hours a bull market, daily is a bull market. The overall trend is a bull, so it's all bull. That's strong. Our RSI is 62. That's another indicator that's going to say we're going to continue moving forward. So again, there is absolutely no reason to get out of this trade at all. There's no signals at all telling me this is not going to continue moving past this 1-to-1 ratio on the way to our target. Now, what I will do over the next few hours, probably tomorrow morning when I wake up, look at see how it did overnight. If it creeps in here, I may let this be a runner, which means I need to move this out of the way and let it run. And when you have a runner, you just trail it with your trailing stop, however your rules tell you to trail. There's a drawback to that. The winning side, the winning part of that is if the thing continues to move up like the numbers show it will, then you're able to get more than 1.5 risk reward ratio. However, the drawback is you are moving your stop closer in and you could come back out and end up not getting your 1.5-to-1. So it could come right up to here, look good, then all of a sudden come here and you end up not getting any even profitable. So there are theories, two theories. Some people say let them run. Some people say take your target 1.5 and move on. So that is I did it again. That is our Aussie yen. And I do want to show you guys a pair that we're adding to our system. We got 1 minute on the clock. I'm going to take, let's take the CAD out of here. The Kiwi US. Now the Kiwi US, we have only taken a few demo trades on. Nothing crazy. but you can see we've got a great fast buy here. This was what kind of caught my attention, but we do have some ceilings. Look at these. Now, look, we just had an adjustment. Look at that. That's the first time I've ever seen that happen live. So whatever just happened with this candle created a new calculation for a ceiling. Man, I don't know if I'd get into this one. That's pretty amazing that I've never seen it happen automated like that. I see it overnight when it's changed, but we've got our window to play in now. This may not be the greatest area to get in. Now, Sentinel may say go and run with it, but I've got a weekly and a monthly high. I'm not so sure I'm taking the trade. I think the trade is still down here where this floor is, what we call that transition time. You could have got the buy, you'd have got out the sell, lost the sell. You probably lost the buy, lost the sell, but this one would have made up for everything. Proper position size, you got in at the right time. You could have had a 300 pip move. Most of us are going for the 150 pips, so you've been a 3-to-1 probably ish, give or take some. You may have only had to risk about 100 pips on this one to get 300, which is a wonderful, wonderful move. So that's a good, we're going to keep an eye on this one. Let's look at the HUD real quick and see what it's saying to us. We're still testing out the numbers for this one, by the way, optimizing it. But I think we're going to have this one on our charts soon. It seems to play well with Aussie as well as China. Okay, RSI is showing to be bullish. 1 hour bullish, 4 hours mixed, which we can see here. Daily's bullish. So this could be just a little transition consolidation time. Not a big deal there, but the bias, it's not a bull trend. It's a bias up. So this is not in a position to quite buy yet. Okay. All right. Let's see if I got any pairs that anybody wants to see in YouTube. Make sure I get those. Yeah, we could look at that one. Uh, okay, I'm just going to get clarification. All the green ones right here historically have proven to be able to be solid trend holders. They hold their trend. They're not ranked in any particular order quite yet, um, but they're solid. Anything in yellow you can add to your basket may cause some problems later on. They're not near as conducive to the current overall 5-year history of a trend. But if you look at this one, your Aussie, you can see it's a downtrend. But yeah, there's your signal right there. And again, fantastic with trade plan rules. You would have had a nice little trade. We didn't have a what we call a core signal because the structure is not there. There's your nice 800 pip move if you're able to have rules in place to be able to manage that. Usually we'd be risking on this one probably on this one would have been about 200, so you would have been needing to at least go to 300. You would have done it right there. You would have been out of your trade right there. And then you would have gone into transition and never got another signal. Or if you had a plan in place, you keep moving it down and you probably would have got out right about here based on that candle where my cursor's at. So you would have got a pretty much a 4.5-to-1, which is a great win ratio there. All depends on your trade plan. Never get greedy, and remember, hindsight's always 2020. So don't make your decisions based on, well, if I would have just done this, you'll never be right because hindsight's always 2020. But if you zoom in, I did it again. Let me move over here. There we go. So zoom in like this, and you saw the screen like this. This is kind of, you can see it's sideways, but it's kind of got a bias down. So when we got this signal, that was a good, I would have done it. I would have done that one. Got a high, a low, lower high, lower low. There's your downtrend channel. You'll hear about channels as well in currency. Currency is noted as different with stock to be more trend oriented. When it's not, that means our world is really kind of messed up because our global leaders want stability in the global markets. So currencies have a tendency, when paired correctly, especially like the Euro US, the US yen, those are normally going to be more trendy. And when they're not, you want to kind of avoid them. All right, guys, I am over my time limit. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. If you have any questions, just let us know. And I hope you guys have a great week. God bless you guys. We'll see you next week.